Yes, thank you, Chair. I'll try to be even more brief than the 5 minutes allocated to me. First of all, to explain why there are so many working documents. Not only because it's a very vast topic, but also because it's a sensitive one, it's delicate, it's sometimes controversial. And I felt that it would be, rather than me presenting a single document and then others trying to amend it, I thought it would be better to try and mobilize the potential that there is in this committee. And I have to say I'm very positively surprised by the input that we got. And this, I think, is a very fruitful way of working. The reason that we're working on this mechanism is that if you look at the treaties, you'll see that Article 2 on our shared values indicates very clearly that the European Union is a community of values. It's not just a kind of customs union or a free trade area. It is a community of values. But it's very remarkable that the European Union has doted itself with various strong instruments to enforce all other policy areas, but not actually our values, the fundamental rights, the rule of law and democratic governance. We have a couple of instruments, but they're clearly not very adequate. We have some very weak instruments that allow for some infringement procedures by the Commission, and we have the nuclear option of Article 7. Now we have the rule of law mechanism, which is applied somewhat haphazardly by the European Commission, which creates the impression that it's very political, that it's targeting some countries or some political parties and not others. So clearly there is a need for a mechanism that is seen to be neutral, impartial, and that is also has wide public support. And that is also the reason that I think it is important to keep most groups, or preferably all the groups, on board. But that's also the reason why I would like to call it from now on a pact rather than a mechanism, because a mechanism is something that is imposed top down. A pact is something that everybody signs up to. That is the idea in the end. And it will not be easy to find consensus on everything, but I do hope that we'll come up with something that will command wide support. It will need to be something that treats all member states equally, that is not politicized, as I said. And I think a second criterion should be that it's basically making use of all existing instruments. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. There's so many instruments out there for monitoring and sometimes enforcing the rules on fundamental rights, the rule of law and democratic governance. So rather than trying to come up with something completely new, we want to integrate what exists and what is out there. Now we have, to that end, we have requested the Fundamental Rights Agency to make a kind of, to elaborate a kind of model that is integrating existing instruments. And LIBE has also commissioned studies, 2 studies which are being finalized as we speak, which are doing more or less the same. Then another remark is that we don't want to develop a mechanism that will be used by the European Parliament. We want a mechanism or a pact that applies to the European Union as a whole, and that means that we will not only be monitoring member states but also the EU institutions and EU, also ourselves. So I'm very happy that we are working, or we will be working closely together with the Council, notably the Council presidency. We will be attending a seminar organised by the presidency at the end of this week, but we will also hope to go to a COSAC seminar dedicated to the same topic later this year. And then finally, because I won't come to the actual proposals yet, what we'll be doing now is bringing together all the concrete recommendations in the 8 working documents and bring that together into a single report that we will present in March. And from then on, we'll start the regular parliamentary procedure. Finally, for the information of colleagues, next week on the 22nd there will be a joint hearing between the LIBE Committee and the AFCO Committee, where we have invited representatives of the judiciary, like the ECJ, the Strasbourg Court, some constitutional courts, and we'll also, further down the line, we'll have a sort of informal session with NGOs who will also get an opportunity to give their impact. And then finally, one final remark. This is not an exercise where we will adopt a report, set up an instrument, a pact, and that's it. No, defining, shaping our values, elaborating common indicators, elaborating instruments is a permanent process. So this will be the start of a process. We will involve national parliaments. We want an annual cycle of public debate where all Europeans can give their input, and we can permanently, continuously shape and define our values and create this, this common culture of European values. And I hope that this pact is going to command broad support, not only within this House, but also in society. Thank you.